ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਜੁਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ ਇਕ ਅਦੁੱਤੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵਾ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਗੁਰ ਅੰਗਦ ਪੇਵਾ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਗੁਰ ਅਮਰ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਕਰਤਾ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੇ ਪੁਰਖ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਰਜਨ ਸੁਖਦਾਨੀ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਹਰਿ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਗੁਣ ਖਾਨੀ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਹੈ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿ ਰਾਇ ਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਹਰਿ ਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਧਿਆਏ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਰਾਏ ਸਹਿਬੰ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਸਮੇ ਸਹਾਇ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਗੁਰ ਗਿਆਨਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਬੰਧਨ ਭਗਵਾਨਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਕਲ ਜੁਗ ਪਇਓ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਰੂਪ ਮਹਾਨ 10 ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਇਹ ਰੂਪ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਜੀ ਜਾਨ ਪੂਰਨ ਦੇਖਿਓ ਆਤਮਾ ਦੁਇਤ ਸਰਬਨਵਾਰ ਪੈ ਸੰਤ ਮਨ ਸੰਤੇ ਤਨ ਪਦ ਨਮੋ ਮਾਰ मुँह को चले शस्त्र खाट पेंग रन छट जाए अंधल के बदरोस ने जो खाल कृपा कराए कहा बुद्ध प्राप्त हमारी बरन सके मैं माँ जो तिहारी हम न सकत कर से तुम्हारी आप ले हो तुम कथा सदारी सो कहो टल गुरु सेविया ऐन सहज सवाए दर्शन परसिया गुरु क्या जन्म मरण दुख जाए दर्शन परसिया गुरु क्या जन्म मरण दुख जाए वाहि
ਸਤਨਾਮ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ। ਥਾਪਿਆ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਆਪੇ ਆਪ ਨਿਰੰਜਨ ਸੋਏ ਜਿਨ ਸੇਵਿਆ ਤਿਨ ਪਾਇਆ ਮਾਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਗਾਵੀਐ ਗੁਣੀ ਨਿਦਾਨ ਗਾਵੀਐ ਸੁਣੀਐ ਮਨ ਰੱਖੀਐ ਪਾਓ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਰ ਹਰ ਸੁਖ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਜਾਏ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਨਾਦਨ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਵੇਦਨ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਰਹਿਆ ਸਮਾਈ ਗੁਰ ਈਸਰ गुर गोरख परमा गुर पार्वती माई जे हो जाना आखा नाही कहना कथन न जाई गुरा एक देह बुझाई सबना जिया का एक दाता सो मैं विसर न जाई।
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। गुरु रूप साध संगत जी वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। We're continuing on with the definitions of the Sri Japji Sahib. We've reached the 5th Pauri, and within the last lot of definitions we conveyed the definitions of the first lot of definitions within the 5th Pauri. Today we're going to go on to the second lot of definitions from the Taksali Sampardaic Tika. This is a Tika by Sant Gurbachan. The second lot of definitions is based on the discourse given by the Guru to the Sikhs to explain to them how to worship God. And within this definition, Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji is explaining to the Sikhs that the devotion done by them should not be done to a symbolic form of God, but should be done to God themselves, to Akal Purukh Vaheguru, to Nirgun Brahm, God who is without attributes. The problem is, it's for people to understand God without any attributes. In order for them to gain any faith in anything, they need to adopt something symbolic to represent the form of Vaheguru in the first place. We do that through Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, through Gurbani, through the pictures we see created in Prati times of the Gurus, through the forms of Ikwankar or the Khanda or things like that. So we do that as well in order to become imbued with the love of God. And once you have that, then you can get rid of the symbolic worship once the realization takes place. And here Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji doing exactly the same. They're going to talk to the Sikhs here and explain to them what the form of Vaheguru is, and explain through the panktis of this shabad from this body of the Sri Japji Sahib. So initially, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is sat with the Sikhs, and they say, "Look, Sikhs, what you need to realize is that the form of God is like this." And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji continues.
Thapya na jaye.
They say, God's form cannot be understood by just the concentration of the mind of somebody alone. It is not through just the visualization of the four-headed Brahma, or the four-armed Vishnu, or the three eyes of Shiva, that one can understand God, because you do not have the ability or the power to realize who has installed them or understand God himself. what you need to realize is that God is everywhere. He's not just in these three deities. You've got to remember, Guru Nanak Dev Ji are giving an Updesh to mostly people of the Hindu population who believe in the Sanatan faiths, whose form of devotion is to Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So that's why these are all being mentioned. Tapya na jai, here it says, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying, look, they've not been installed. In no way have they been installed in their respected positions by themselves. God is separate to this. God is not installed in any way. He's not seated on a position like these are. And what Guru Nanak Dev Ji says is that God resides in every being. He's in every single pervasive part of the universe. Sant Gyani Sundar Singh Ji Pindrawale was asked. They said, God is seen as Vyapak, He is ever present, but is there any space that He does not exist? And Sant Gyani Sundar Singh Ji at the time gave the analogy that said, the sewing needle has a small eye in it which you thread, put a piece of thread through. He said not even that small amount of space within that sewing needle is exempt from the pervasive nature of God. God resides within all. In all of these moments, in all these times, God exists. So Sant-Gyani Gurbachan Sant-Gyani Sundar Singh Ji say that. They say God exists in every person, in every thought, in the concentration of every individual, in everybody's heart. But what you need to remember is God is not made of paper. He's not made of metal. He's not made of wood. He's not made of any of these elements. He's not made of any of these items. And He cannot be created by another person. That's what it says in Tapyanajai. He cannot be created by another person. A person cannot create an idol and hand it to you and install it and say, this is God. Worship this. Bhagatannaji realized this later on through his bhakti. When the Brahman Tarlochan handed him a stone and said, this is God. This is Thakur. This is the one that I worship to, and this is the one you should worship to. And when Waheguru came in a devotional form to Bhagatannaji, he said, Brahman Tarlochan has duped you. I don't exist in stone idols. That's not what I do. I'm ever present. I'm with you all the time. And that's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying. Tapyanajaya, they're saying these murtiyan that you have, these idols that you have, they do not possess me. I am not this. In essence, I exist everywhere. But to think that this idol is actually the form of God is a mistake. And Siddhi Guru Nanak Dev Ji continuing.
Kita na hoy.
They say, look, it is due to somebody's imagination that ritualistic worship or symbolic worship takes place. There are idols of Ganesh. Ganesh is seen depicted with an elephant head. Logically speaking, trying to place an elephant head on top of a human body is, you're incapable of doing that. It is all symbolic worship. Symbolism is a massive part of the Sanatan faith. Brahma has 4 heads. That basically means he can see everything. That's what that is for. It's a literal depiction, trying to show the message being conveyed. Vishnu has got 4 arms. He is the one who sustains everything. He's got the ability to do so. Shiva is seen with 3 eyes because he is a destroyer. He sees all. He has the Ganga flame from his hair, which shows the intoxication through the Amrit. So the Amrit sprouting from a person's head. He carries a snake around his neck. That is to remind somebody that the 5 evils or the vices within the world are constantly attacking you, and if you're not careful, they will attack you at any point. They're all symbolic. All these things are caused by a person's imagination. So Ganesh is just a stone. A murti of Ganesh is just a stone. Or you get the stone that's on the Gandhika Nadi as well. Basically, there is a stone. According to the Jawi of Sahib Katha, Jalandhar Dent was a demon who was fighting Shiva. Shiva could not defeat him due to the chastity of his wife, Brinda. And what happened was then Vishnu intervened. Vishnu assumed the form of Jalandhar and slept with Brinda, breaking her chastity. And at that point, Shiva was able to beat Jalandhar. And it is said that the demon Brinda then cursed Vishnu. And he was told that he would be turned into a stone due to breaking her chastity. the Gandhaka Nadi, the river Ganga, basically there's a part of the Ganga called the Gandhaka, and there you find black stones with a white line running through them, and the white line is said to represent Vishnu wearing his ceremonial thread, his Janayu. Again, this is symbolic worship. People take these stones and they worship them like they are the deity Vishnu. But Vaheguru Parameshwar, Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying here, do not get involved in symbolic worship. It's symbolic worship, and God cannot be worshipped through this way. He cannot be worshipped through symbolic worship. There are other people who consider themselves to be Brahmgyanis, who are so engrossed in their ego that once they become engrossed in their ego, they start saying, I am God myself, and you should worship me. And again, these people find themselves involved in duality, and due to that, they cannot find God, and a person cannot find God through them. And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji can then continue.
Kita na hoy.
They say, Kita na hoy again. They say, look, a person, by having spiritual devotion, one cannot manifest God in a concrete form. Even through having complete devotion within Vaheguru, God is not going to appear in a complete form in front of you. He is Nirgun. You should not try to worship him through symbolic worship. And even if somebody does, once they gain the essence of Vaheguru, then they will come out of that and they will learn to worship God through a Nirgun form. Like you see with Bhagavad Nanak Ji, Bhagavad Dhannaji. Initially they were symbolic forms, and then once they became one with Vaheguru, they worshipped the true form of Vaheguru, which is a Nirgun form. So again, Kirtana Hoy, the first one is that you cannot manifest God in a concrete form. The second one is that Kirtana Hoy, if a person is to try to understand God, then they still will not be able to find and feel the true sensation. God is so far above and beyond the human perception that we can only feel a certain amount of oneness or the creative force within ourselves before it becomes overpowering. It is so Vaheguru himself in a Nirgun form is beyond comprehension, beyond human feeling, beyond our human vices. There's a reason why we cannot see God, hear God and perceive God with normal senses, and it's through meditation that you become enlightened. And you continue. So the Siddhs have listened to this, and the Sikhs have listened to this. And they ask them, they say, what is the form? Then tell us about what the form of God is. And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji replies, Ape Aap Niranjan Soy. They say, Ape Aap Niranjan Soy. They say, Ape Ape. The first is, God is the form of the Jeev. The Jiva, the one that sits within all of us. They say, and then he himself, Ape Aap. There's two Aaps there. First one is for the Jeev Roop. The second one is for the Ishvara Roop, which is the form of Vaheguru when he merges with Brahman. The creation is in motion. So he's saying God himself is the Jeev Roop, which is the ignorant form, and then he's the form of Ishwar as well. And then it says Niranjana Soy. He himself is the complete pure form that allows a person to gain the characteristics and gain illumination through the mergence of the Ishwar and the Jeev Roop. He himself is both forms, and when they merge, they cause the person to gain their divine knowledge. They gain the illumination of all the knowledge within the Antashkaran, within the mind facet. The Jeev is, what happens is with the Jeev is the same as Ishwar, but it is forced into duality. It is focused in duality where it believes that this world is real, everything is real around it. And it's due to the ignorance. But once the ignorance is gone, then it gains a form of Ishwar. Once it gains that, then it gains the illuminated form of Paramatma, the mergence of the two. So Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying that Ape Aap Niranjan Soy. They go on again and say that again. So they go Ape Aap Niranjan Soy. There's a second definition here. And they say Ape Aap, that God has created everything within his own form. He is manifest within everything. He is within the mind facets, forces of everybody as the pure form. And he is in complete bliss. His form is of complete bliss. and he always is of complete bliss. And staying within that complete blissful form, he resides within the body of people. And Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji give this as a reply to the question asked by the Sikhs. And then they continue further.
Jin sevya tin paya man.
They say, simple as this, those people who have recited the name of Vaheguru, Jina Sevya, those people who have meditated or recited, Jin Sevya tin paya man, they have then gained respect and glory and honour within this world and the next. And that has been gained through the name of God, Jina paya man. And then there's a number of definitions for this as well. The second one is Jin Sevya tin paya man. They say people gain respect if they recite the name of God and have applied it to their mind. So man here means the mind. So they apply it to their mind and to their thought of God, and through this method they try to understand Him. And now what we're going to come up to is the pramans. We have a number of pramans here, which come up Jin Sevya tin paya man. And in order to do this definition, I will leave it to the next video. The reason being, the whole video is going to get taken up by the different pramans. But for this video, on the second definitions of the fifth Pauri, which is where Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji is giving an Updesh to the Sikhs on how they should worship God, we'll leave that there for today. And Kamalpreet Singh, if you can close it, please.
Thapya na jai, kita na hoy, ape aap, naranjan soy, jin sevya tin paya man, nanak gaviye, guni nidan, gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye pao, dukh par har, sukh kar le jai, Gurmukh nadan, Gurmukh vedan, Gurmukh rahya samai, Gur Isar, Gur Gorakh, Barma Gur, Parvati Mai, Je ho jana, akha nahi, कहना कथन न जाई, गुरा एक देह बुझाई, सबना जिया का एक दाता, सौ में विसर न जाई।
वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। हे गोबिंद, हे गोपाल, हे दयाल लाल, प्राणनाथ अनाथ सखे दीन दर्द निवार, हे समरथ अगम पूरन मोहे मया तार, अंधकूप महापयान नानक पारे उतार, हाय प्रभु शरणागति कृपा निध दयाल, एक अखर हर मन वस्त नानक होत निहाल, एक अखर हर मन वस्त नानक होत निहाल। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।